My Utmost for His Highest, author Oswald Chambers, copyright 1992. Judgment and the Love of God. The time has come for judgment to begin at the house of God. 1 Peter 4:17. The Christian servant must never forget that salvation is God's idea, not man's. Therefore, it has an unfathomable depth. Salvation is a great thought of God, not an experience. Experience is simply the door through which salvation comes into the conscious level of our life, so that we are aware of what has taken place on a much deeper level. Never preach the experience. Preach the great thought of God behind the experience. When we preach, we are not simply proclaiming how people can be saved from hell and be made mortal and pure. We are conveying good news about God. In the teachings of Jesus Christ, the element of judgment is always brought out. It is a sign of the love of God. Never sympathize with someone who finds it difficult to get to God. God is not to blame. It is not for us to figure out the reason for the difficulty, but only to present the truth of God so the Spirit of God will reveal what is wrong. The greatest test of quality of your preaching is whether or not it brings everyone to judgment. When the truth is preached, the Spirit of God brings each person face to face with God Himself. If Jesus ever commanded us to do something that He was unable to equip us to accomplish, He would be a liar. And if we make our own inability a stumbling block or an excuse not to be obedient, it means that we are telling God that there is something which He has not yet taken into account. Every element of our own self-reliance must be put to death, amen, by the power of God. The moment we recognize our complete weakness and our dependence upon Him will be the very moment that the Spirit of God will exhibit His power. That's truth. Liberty in the standards of Jesus. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free. Galatians 5:1. A spiritually minded person will never come to you with a demand, believe this and that. A spiritually minded person will demand that you align yourself with the standards of Jesus. We are not asked to believe the Bible, but to believe the one whom the Bible reveals. See John 5:39-40. We are called to present liberty for the conscience of others, not to bring them liberty from their thoughts and opinions. And if we ourselves are free with the liberty of Christ, others will be brought into the same liberty. The liberty that comes from realizing that the absolute control and authority of Jesus Christ. Always measure your life solely by the standards of Jesus. Submit yourself to His yoke and His alone. And always be careful never to put a yoke on others that is not of Jesus Christ. It takes God a long time to get us to stop thinking that unless everyone sees things exactly as we do, they must be wrong. That is never God's view. There is only one true liberty, the liberty of Jesus at work in our conscience, enabling us to do what is right. Don't get impatient with others. Remember how God dealt with you, with patience and gentleness, but never water down the truth of God. Let it have its way and never apologize for it. Jesus said, "Go and make disciples," Matthew 28:19, not make converts to your own thoughts and opinions.